Welcome to the Mike Effin Garage, where we F up a lot. Well, you see right there, I just stopped for a second to show you. I don't know, there's just a little bit of peel in this one. I got a little bit dry. A big gaping run right here. And the curtains came over here, same place. Looks like... Alright, here's the Karmann Ghia before we paint it. All we're going to do is run through each panel. And we're going to go ahead and just do one panel at a time. We're going to sand it down by hand. Just run our sandpaper over the areas that have already been sanded. And then check out the corners and edges really good. I'm going to use this 3M block. This is a soft block here, like that. And we're just going to sand away. Check it all out. Just like that. Just do the whole thing. Well, see, this is where this pays off, guys. Dent. Alright. Right there is a small dent wave thing. A little low right there. That's where you go around. Check it out when you're doing that final sand. Find a little something, something. Handle it. Alright guys, so real quick, if you notice when I was sanding this, I'm just going like this. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm going really fast. Now you try and do that with a rubber block, you're going to wear your arm out in one of those big heavy rubber blocks, the old school style. You know, you're just not going to, you're not going to have an arm left. So yeah, that's what happens. So anyway, we're just going to roll with that. That's the only blocking that I do, is I just kind of check it out once at the end, and just, so we did it for years. Mercedes, BMWs, all that stuff. We just do a real quick block at the end with it by hand, and that would just take out the microwaves that are in it, do all the bodywork and everything with the DA, and we got pretty good results. I mean, people weren't quite as picky as they are now. The people are just stupid right now. I mean, they're just like, feather edge of that. See a little bad spot there. I already did this whole panel, but see, I come back and double check it again, and I see this edge. There's like little paint chips along the edge and stuff. That's got to go. Then I'll just give a spray can primer for those areas. And then like this one, I'll just do a spray can primer over that, just a real quick. That stuff doesn't leave any overspray hardly at all. Let's use that. See a paint chip there. I got to do all underneath here in the front. I'm going to do that all at once. And I have my big sander going while I'm sanding. So if I see something that's bigger than I want to do by hand, I'll just grab that thing and just do it real quick. And that's what I'm doing. Go all around the whole car. Look for everything I can find. Like I said, we're not going for a 100-point show, okay? Somebody wants me to do that. The answer is no, thank you. You get like a 5 to 10% at the most better looking job. 5%, 10%. I don't know. I might have some missed body work in this thing. This thing had a ton of little dents everywhere. I keep on finding them, so hopefully I don't miss any. I feel some, and I think they're just a little wave, and I don't think they're going to show up because it's round surface. So, just going to let her run. Whatever I get done is going to live there. It is going to live wherever I tell it it's going to live. And that's what I do. So, yeah, we'll just keep going. Probably got another 2 hours left. I got this whole side to do. Then I got underneath all this area, all this hand stuff. I got to do all that by hand. Check all these out real good. Use some good cut sandpaper. Make sure those aren't little dents. And you can't really fill them anyway. You know, if you fill them, it'll look like a wrecked up mess. So just try and feather those in really good down in these grooves, because it's so round in there, you can't see anything. Not unless you're a crazy person. And you'll see everything. So, yeah. Like I said, we're not going there. All right, we'll keep going. Okay, at this point, probably just going to do a little bit of spray can primer on a few areas, like here, here. Then that stuff you just scratchy pat it, or do that right before I spray it. And you don't even have to do that. And then there. Everything sanded underneath. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and this is all just prep 220. You guys will see how that turns out. You might be shocked. Turns out pretty good. So, dry sand 220, paint it. Alright guys, today's the day for the Karmann Ghia paint. So we're going to tack this thing down like 3 times. I just feel a lot of dust on it. I've already blown it off like a couple times, and I need to feeling stuff here. I need to get that with a scratchy a little bit. So we gotta get that here. I feel a little bit of overspray from that. We gotta prime over some of the nibs still too. I'm just gonna do wet on wet. We'll just continue to tack this thing here. I'm worried about the underneath stuff. I just want to get the upper surfaces on the first one So we'll do all that. I'll bring you back in. Welcome to the Mike Effin Garage, where we F up a lot. Well, you see right there, I just stopped for a second to show you, that is mapping around. So I really should have sealed this. I should have, and I know it's okay because it's just a base coat. It's not our color. We're just putting this on so we don't go through, too much base. Didn't want to buy a ton of it, but I kind of knew this was going to happen, and if I would have shot sealer on here, I'd have probably knocked out most of that, probably all of it. But anyway, we will learn from this, and I will let this dry. I'm going to put one more coat on here after this to get it nice and covered, and then I'll go in here. I'm smelling paint, and I shouldn't be, but anyway, I'll put my respirator on, of course, when I'm painting, but right now I'm just talking. So the next thing I'm going to do is let this dry, and I'll go through and with a little bit of fine sandpaper and sand those down before we put our real color on here. That's the whole goal of using this. And I guess this is, I don't know, it's to make a ground coat. So anyway, we'll get this painted one more time, and then we're going to let it dry really good, and then we're going to walk around with some wet sand or fine sandpaper and just kind of knock down nibs, check it out really good, and then we'll start putting the real color on. Two little dings I missed. All right there. I'm gonna go ahead and hit those while we're resting. Wait for the base to dry. Just hit it with a heat gun. Just get a little putty on there and let that dry while I'm taking a break here. Get those fixed. Oh. Yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and sand a little bit of the base. I saw some stuff. I let this dry for a solid hour, so it's this high-tech base, so I'll get all the dirt out of it. Check it out. Fix those spots we were looking at. Let me back you guys up a little bit. Yeah, just check it out real good. Saw a couple places where it mapped. I saw a nasty one right in here. It'll just make it a little easier for the real color to cover. It'll cover right over this. Saw some mapping here. Then I'll tack this thing down really good. 3 more times. Got our dent fixed. Let that dry. Had to put a second coat of mud on there. Man, it's a pretty nasty one. I could wet sand this, but it seems to dry sand pretty good. Sometimes I wet sand it if I'm gonna go right into it. I let this dry for about an hour, and it just, there's some fish eyes right there that I didn't like. Sand those out. All right, let's look at the base. See a few little waves here and there. I mean, I didn't do a full prime on this thing, so because we were trying to do a patina restore kind of a preservation, so probably should have, but there's the last guy just didn't. I mean, it was Mako, I'm sure. And the paint, type of paint it was, how the work was done underneath, I could just tell it was a quick old 80s Mako job. So make sure I open that so I don't forget the paint in there, or clear. At least get one coat in there. And, but I think once it's color sanded and buffed, it'll hide some of the stuff. I see like a little, like a lean-to dent right there, and I couldn't find that when I was sanding it. I would have found it with the whole thing guide coated, but it's not that much of anything. It's very tiny stuff that I'm seeing, so we should be looking good. Alright guys, let's take a look here. Man, did I get like almost no dirt in this thing? Can't believe it. I usually get I mean, there's a couple, just the smallest little, I mean, man. And let's take a look at some of this body work. There's a little tiny ding in there that I missed, but nothing. I mean, there's little stuff all. I think it's mostly sanded out chips because there were so many paint chips in this car. Something right there. There's a little tiny one I missed. Damn it. Oh, maybe when I buff it, you won't see it. Usually, it's just tiny little stuff, but there's so many of them. You know, this thing could have used a stripping job, and then it would have came into a whole new level of work. You know, strip all the paint off, strip the old Bondo off. There was old body work that was still in good condition. It was in it. And of course the stuff that I did looks, even the wave I was talking about, try and find that one. It ain't in there, you can't see it. The roof looks really straight. There's nothing. Quarters, they see, of course they look, I don't know, there's just a little bit of peel in this one. I got a little bit dry. I wasn't sure where I painted it. I didn't want to go too heavy and get a big fatty. I did get a big gaping run right here. Oh yeah, that's a big one. Took me a whole 5 minutes to sand that one out. And then the curtains came over here, same place. Looks like when you come down, right, fans overlapping right there. And I'm shooting upward, right, and it's getting that fan edge is hitting right there. So it's getting heavy right there because I get a little closer than the rest of it. So again, I should have went like this, and I wouldn't have got it. Live and learn, you know, make mistakes. That's the way it is. Not that many in this one. Other than the paint's a little dry right here. I can see just a little peel. I mean, this thing could be sent just like that. It doesn't look that bad. This is what I was hoping to get on that pickup truck. About like this, and I was just gonna goodbye. You know. Not even buff it. But this one here, we're planning on buffing anyway, so. God, they just hammer marks. I mean, there were just so many paint chips there, and I sanded them down and checked them, put primer on them, blocked them, but they're still just so many paint chips. They were all over. I don't know how they got that many paint chips in this car. And she's still a little sticky. Gotta be careful touching it. It's about ready to move it here. Get it out of this nightmare if this thing, we lose power, right? Ooh, it's a little clearer now, isn't it? Had to clean the lens there. It gets dirty real easy now. And there's a little wave right there at the top of the fender that I didn't see. Of course, you know, when you're trying to just find stuff, it's a lot easier just to have primer on there and guide coat it than you feel it and see it at the same time. So yeah, I'd say it looks good enough. This is what I was hoping to get, the results I was hoping to get. Let's hope everyone else is happy, right? I'd buy it. Let's see when we color sand and buff this. It's gonna look really smooth. I put 3 coats of clear. I had 2 and it looked really, really good. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll get some dirt in it if I shoot another one. I'll just go for it. I shot the next coat of clear on it. I shot it just a little bit dry. I knew I was kind of like, I was seeing it melt in. I thought, oh, it'll melt in and smooth out a little bit, but it didn't that much. I mean, it's fine, but anyway. And I got all the way up underneath here really good. Oh man, I don't know if you can see that. It's really hard to shoot. I mean, hey, who cares under there, but Some people really get weird about that not being perfectly painted under there, that you never see anytime. So I better make sure it's done, right? Okay. It's done for you guys that are... It's just the paint does not go up. It doesn't. And you're not going to get it to look perfect unless you put it on a rotisserie. That's the only way. Or you spray it with a big giant thing with lots of air pressure. One of those, what they used originally on these cars was that pressure pot. Well, it's like a, yeah, kind of a pressure pot thing. And it sprayed with a little bit of pressure in the line to push the paint out. And it would just throw the paint on the car. I mean, it was kind of crazy what they did back in that time. And the guy didn't have a pot on his gun. It was just lines that would come up and just whap, whap, and he'd just throw it on the car. You can tell by the way they painted the hood, the underneath part, it was just like and the back side of it's missed. Who cares? Get it on as quick as you can. Alright, we're gonna call this good. Maybe we'll see a little footage later, but this was all day in here. Had to stop, sand it. Got to just plan on that, and then you just look. Now we got a nice result. And oh, where's that dent? But oh, I got one right here. I didn't even see it. I missed it. Home sweet home. Dent gone. Once you put the light things in there, it's going to distract any little bit of stuff you can see. That's where you live, buddy. So you better get used to it. You never know. I might end up having to fix that. I hope not. That's a spray and blend dent. You know, you ain't gonna. Well, like, you know, you go, okay. Somebody goes, well, you know, you need to clear the line. Okay, so you're gonna clear here all the way up to the roof, to the whole roof, and clear this whole section all the way out to the whole front end. There's no break points. Nah. Home. Live with it. Alright, so you guys who are wondering, I was using the 717 Porpoise. This is a really nice gun. I like it because I have a Techno Pro Light. A really good gun. They're really good, but they're very, very fast. And for me, I just don't paint that fast anymore. I'm too old to haul ass like that all day. So this thing does the same atomization and a little smoother for the clear. And for the base coat, I use this Porpoise 416. A lot of the smaller stuff I painted with the Porpoise minigun. Both amazing machine. You know, I can spray clear with that minigun perfectly, as long as I'm not spraying a big area. Same as this. I mean, so yeah. This gun right here sprays on base coat so evenly. I don't know, it's really nice for base, and that's what it's for. But I actually sprayed clear with it, and it did really good too. The spray booth I used is the Warsun, W-A-R-S-U-N. I did a video about a while back on it. The thing I like about it, it does have a paint mixing station, but I don't use it. I don't use it really. It's in here. Has a little area you can go in and out. I literally got no dirt with this thing. It has only one fan, so that's kind of cool. Like the other one I had two fans, so I was always worried about blowing the breaker. But what I do to make sure that I don't do that is I have a 12 or a 10 gauge extension cord. So anyway, those if you're wondering.